presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to our man Al in Homosassa. What's going on, brother?
Isn't it wonderful? I went ahead and invested in your Tiger dollars, and I went ahead and got the gold report for a year, and also your morning your call letter and stuff like that. And I got over a 50% return in one day, not counting everything else. But I just want to thank you. Tom's not perfect, but he tells you how to put your stops in, and he keeps your losses small. You can take your small losses, but then all of a sudden you'll be like Babe Ruth, and you'll hit a home run. I mean, a big home run. Yeah. And put the money in your pocket.
Okay, brother. You're awesome, man. Thank you.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching TFNN. What an amazing reversal. They're calling it the art of the deal. I don't know, man. What am I supposed to say at this point, right? Analysis-wise. This is the most insane thing that I think any of us, have lived through in regards to the market. If the SPY trading up 7.61% at 534, just look at this insane volume. Look at this volume. What is it, like 15 minutes before the announcement? Yeah, and then just this massive rally to the upside. Big volume. You had no volume the entire day. You have basically right now some near-term resistance at 540 roughly, and we've been bouncing in between 530 and 540. Is Trump still speaking? Jeez. Raul, if you hear anything, let me know. Composite trading up 9.47% at 16,714. I got to give props to Fletch in the den. Called that headline immediately. You would have caught some massive upside if you decided to buy there. Dow Jones Industrial, there you go. Dow 40K, man. Up 6.47% with the Russell roaring 7.11%. You have your dollar strengthening, crude oil rallying to the upside. Should have taken that crude gush. I did get a little bit in, but kind of sold out because I am still nervous about this, to be honest with you. This is a 90-day pause in the tariffs, which is fine. I think the Chinese ones still apply. I'm not sure if it's entirely clear who gets the 10% because he said for all countries that didn't retaliate, and I'm pretty sure Europe and Japan retaliated, but it's not clear. Now, of course, this 10% for all countries that came to the negotiating table is good, but still higher than what they were prior. I just think it's not clear. Does Europe get slapped with a higher tariff? Does Japan? There's this whole headline that Goldman Sachs rescinded its initial update on recessions due to the tariffs, but they still have their 45% in place and a GDP growth of 0.5%. 10-year yields are coming down. You're at 4.37% right now after being 4.5, I think, in futures. The bid, I think, was really low, but the auction on the 10-year, the yield was much lower than anticipated, which is nice, of course, right? Yeah, successful bond auction. Let's see here. Yeah, 30-year hit 5.02. Bid cover ratio for the auction, $39 billion in 10-year treasuries was 2.67. Much higher than the previous 10-year auction. Okay, so that's good. So that's strong demand. Foreign investors still holding. Jeez, man, I don't know. Seriously, props to anyone who kept buying calls. And I can't even imagine what the heck these premiums are right now. What does it have to go to? 540? More. Oh, it's 0 dates. That's why. I don't know. Let's just see tomorrow. What does this need to be? I mean, you could definitely hit that if this rally continues. What I will say is I think that is like a big if. And listen, I don't have puts or calls right now. I'm still in cash. I had that VIX call that I cashed out on earlier, which was nice. There's still going to be volatility here. I mean, do you get this, wrapped back up? The VIX, you totally can. I mean, these calls are in June. I might, depending on how far this falls, might kind of reinstitute a new one, right? Mainly because this is not getting rid of the tariffs entirely. This is, again, just putting it off for 90 days. Of course, this is now under the context that this was a whole master plan the entire time. And, but does that ruin his ability to negotiate? I'm not sure. Again, I still want to see what happens with Europe and Japan, because I believe they did not. I know Europe did retaliate. I believe that Japan was basically like, dude, screw this, and a deal wasn't reached. And does Canada and Mexico get the 10%? That will be important to know. And again, you're still at a 10% tariff, right? That is much higher than what has existed. But man, I mean, God, it's almost like you don't know what to listen to him on. I mean, he made a tweet earlier today that now is a great time to buy stocks, right? And am I not sharing my screen? Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Trump messages on Truth Social. Yeah, I know. Well, then it made its way over to Twitter, and he's like, now's a great time to buy equities. And I'm nervous with that kind of stuff because that was his whole thing with Trump coin, and that got dumped in a major way, right? And I mean, this is a massive flipping. I don't know. I almost just don't even want to do anything just yet because I still think the volatility exists here. Now, this is insane, of course, and my major concern is, my first initial reaction, I was out of the office when this happened. I got back in like 10 minutes later. Octavius, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I got this shirt for cheap, too. But I saw this, and I was like, I'm going to FOMO here, essentially, right? Like, if I buy right now, I'm going to FOMO. I always lose when I FOMO, right? It's just how I operate. And so, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? I mean, if things do definitely improve, this will be interesting. How do they improve with China? What does a deal look like with that? Additionally, what do these reduced tariffs mean for reshoring American manufacturing? Because I had been working on, now again, I don't own the equities right now, but I had been working on kind of like a little list, right? To kind of figure out like, all right, if we're going to build out this manufacturing, what benefits? Is that just kind of gone now? I don't know. Because I thought the point of the tariffs was to bring that back. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Folks, you stay right there. I'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. Man, I feel like I'm getting a little sick. I don't understand, probably the stress. I guess there's a headline, I'm not sure if this is legitimate or not, but it says, Donald Trump just said, and he announced a tariff pause because people are getting afraid, reverse tariffs for a short period of time. Nothing is over yet. I don't know. I mean, part of me almost wants to short this thing again at 5:30 or something. These aren't horrendous premiums, I guess. Because, I mean, you get another, rally like you saw today or something like that. I mean, you can get massive, massive returns. I don't know. It's bizarre to me. It really is bizarre to me. But then, yeah, I'll take a look at exempting some companies as time goes by. Whatever. I guess so. Yeah, that's right, Frank. So whoever goes to get an exemption, Raul, it's interesting you say that, okay? Because, so this is actually kind of a bullish case I have for NVIDIA right now. And in reality, I think NVIDIA was kind of cheap down here. This is still a pretty dominant kind of gig, But, so apparently wrong. One, they just released, I guess, a new tech that makes the chips way more powerful and way more efficient, which I think is really interesting. If anything, this is super interesting. Palantir has remained to hold very well, through all of this. I mean, you're up 20%, up $92, completely erasing a lot of the L's that it took. This is one that I probably am looking to get back into. We played it the whole way up, which was awesome. Yeah, I mean, this resistance through this entire kind of fiasco, the support through the entire fiasco has been really awesome for Palantir. Man, I'm trying to find this article. Yeah, okay. So they back off NVIDIA's H20 chip crackdown after Mar-a-Lago dinner. So he attended a 1 million a head dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Following the Mar-a-Lago dinner, the White House reversed course on the H20 chips, putting the plan for additional restrictions on hold. These are the chips, that they can legally sell to China, right? So, I mean, hey, if this is what this is about, then totally, Raul. Yeah. Look. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you said it too. NVIDIA already gets the exemption. Look at who's doing that. And honestly, unfortunate that that's probably how you have to do kind of strat here, But totally, if I get any kind of idea that one of these guys is going and talking to Trump or going to a dinner, maybe morally that's not the best thing in the world, but I mean, look, you see the results of that, right? He can start selling to China still, and what is China gonna do? They're gonna need to buy this kind of stuff even through the tariffs. Now, there's a way that they can probably go through other countries, which is really what they've been doing to get some of these more powerful chips anyway. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, and honestly, with this decrease in the tariffs to a 10% for everyone who made an agreement with him or tried to negotiate with him, that does increase the possibility that they'll be able to get better chips as well, or these H20s at a cheaper level. Regardless, I think NVIDIA is just bossed. Very strong company, good cash. But again, now it's like I can't even I can't make an actual opinion on it. Like this entire reversal with Trump, it makes me feel like, okay, are we even going to build out the way he was talking about it? I mean, in a way, I was kind of interested in that because it's so different. And then you get Ray Dalio going on whatever it was, MSNBC or something like that, and it was just like surreal listening to him. This kind of, and I wanted to keep listening to him. It was very aggravating that the news guy was like, "Stop! I want to talk about tariffs." Like, okay, man, he's talking about these grand macro cycles throughout time that humanity experiences. I mean, that's some like deep esoteric stuff, and it just like, I don't know what any of this means in a major way. God, look at just massive closing that gap. It is unbelievable. You're right under 540. This is an area of resistance on the daily for the SPY. So we'll see if we break through that. I totally have never seen anything like this before, and I think just the whipsaw is insane. And probably, see what happens, but those calls I had for the VIX were in June, but if it's 90 days, you're looking at July. I mean, June expiry still might be kind of interesting. But, this could easily just be like another shakeout, And does the reduction of the taxes, of the tariffs on those countries, you still get contracting GDP growth. Now, the 10-year coming down is solid, right? And the basis trade doesn't blow up, and you don't get all these hyper-leveraged hedge funds blowing up. How long does it come down, though? You still have the major debt wall in June. I still think 4.35 is somewhat high. We're like right back to where we were in February 21st. So, I don't know. I think what I can say on this for sure is absolutely stay on your toes. Don't leave the office for 20 minutes. Don't pull out the Sago Palm or whoever was saying that in the den, man. I totally feel you. Crude. If the recession totally comes off the table, which is a big if, getting long on these futures might be very attractive. You're coming into June. Yeah, Basil, I would love to hear more about that too. This is a huge learning time for me because I've never seen anything like this in the market at all. And I was talking with one of my other acquaintances who's about 70, and he was a wealth manager for his family's like a dynastic kind of, like a dynasty of wealth managers. And, it was just interesting seeing his insights. But okay, let's consider that I still think there's a fear of recession. Probably not as strong as it was after this pause. You're coming into June. You can definitely see this needs to get above or stay really above these $60 levels, right? Of course, that is a problem with inflation as well if it does. But there's a part here that is attractive to me, potentially going long on crude futures. I mean, look at how beautiful that would have been at 55.12. What a massive rally to the upside. And seriously, there will be way more options here to get in and make edgy trades. Look at that. We're breaking above the 541.78. I want to see what Intel's doing right now, too. Up 17.24%. Quite the rally. AVGO did some interesting stuff where they are doing a $10 billion share buyback. I want to see, let me see that. Yeah, I know, right? At least the Dow Jones Industrial is making all-time highs. Look at that. We were sub 40,000. It is up 2,792 points. What on earth? Unreal. Folks, you stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Jacob Shoup watching the Tom O'Brien Show. First thing I want to say, Raul, we're going to look at this. This is Fund Strats. Mr. Lees. I got to see what's in this ETF. What is it? Just U.S. large cap ETF? Was it like a Mag 7 or something like that? 50K shares sold over 18 today. Yeah, I don't know what's in it. I gotta take a look at that. But Lolo, you said Ackman scared him. I think the CEO got to him. It is so crazy that you say that because I guess Trump just said that he was listening to Jamie Dimon speak today. And you're right. I mean, Ackman has been like 90-day tariff, please 90-day tariff, or a 90-day extension or whatever. And then you had Dimon speaking about it too. And then so Trump literally just said, I think it was just 10 minutes ago, he said he was listening to Dimon and that he heard that something needed to be done. And so he did it. What the heck, man? I mean, you spent the whole day, really the past few days, being like the tariffs are not coming off. Now is time for Main Street. Okay, it is time for Main Street. Wall Street has had its day in the sun. Is that just all like not true? And then again, what does this mean for bringing back production to the U.S.? I mean, it's just wild to me. And that VIX is just decaying massively. Pretty wild. And then, yeah, okay, let's see. What is Granny? The Granny shots. Okay. Man, Tom Lee's hilarious. Cat, NVIDIA, Meta, Google, CDNS, CrowdStrike, I mean, hey, yeah, I mean, this is just like tech build out, right? What is the... Oh, top holdings, 2.7. Okay, I'm sorry. No. Progressive, Abbott, Costco, S&P Global, Netflix, MSFT, BNY, Palo Alto, JP Morgan Chase. I mean, yeah, it just seems like the stocks that have been doing well recently, huh? And it is kind of grandy, right? It's not super flashy, but yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, if the market, like this is like it's pretty well balanced in a lot of ways, right? Especially with like Costco, obviously S&P, with JP Morgan Chase, then you're adding, with Progressive as well, and then you're adding in stuff like Netflix, Microsoft, Palo Alto. It's cool ETF. It's kind of what I got on that right now. 11.95%. I mean, if you believe like the thing's just gonna rip even higher though, like your tech, you know, really the Qs, right? Anything in the composite, or like your individual stocks like Tesla, like NVIDIA. I mean, just probably do that, right? And again, I'm kind of concerned that this is not the end of the volatility. I mean, the fact that it all just sucked out immediately, right? Is kind of nuts. Man, look at crude pushing even higher, man. 5.35%. Let's take a look at Gush. Man, up 24.65%. Again, if you're feeling like things are going to actually get okay, you hear any kind of news. And again, I mean, June is a time of pressure for oil. Now, you have some issues with increasing production, right? That can obviously keep oil prices kind of stabilized in a way where you're not, I mean, I would imagine they'd stabilize higher than, you know, what they're at now. But if you take a look at what we've been doing for quite a while, I mean, you have really just like a floor of like 66.73, right? And it does fluctuate. Of course, you have a little breakout there, but really maybe max of 72. And so if you know, I mean, this might be an interesting thing to kind of try to shoot for, you know? A 66.36 return to crude. And remember, this is selling off, or it was selling off, not because of actually any real supply demand, you know, just realities, but more because people were anticipating recession. And listen, I still think American consumers are a little bit strapped. Credit report wasn't phenomenal. We're getting CPI tomorrow. We're going to see what happens. But, you know, as long as Trump doesn't do anything screwy again, you know, you could see a return, kind of this usual baseline of crude. What I'll say as well is today, Tommy O'Brien for the morning market kickoff, he had Teddy Keckstad on. You know, one, just check out, you know, the archive of the whole show. But listen to Teddy as well, because they had some really interesting conversation on like currency pairs, which I thought was good. But Teddy, in the Tiger Forex report, he does look at crude as well, which I find to be extremely enlightening. And it's right there, Tiger Forex report. You can check that out. All right, let's kind of move on. I want to see what the companies that I picked for this potential reindustrialization. You have UUUU up 9.74%. And again, keep in mind with this kind of stuff, and who knows, maybe the tariffs go away on China tomorrow, or maybe they persist until whenever, But right now, the rare earth, materials are under a lot of threat, and we don't really have solid supply chains here for that. Additionally, you have CCJ, which was uranium, which I think kind of took a smack. I mean, they're up 9.38% right now, but kind of took a little bit of a hit, or should have at least, because Trump is now talking about powering AI with coal. The Department of Energy tweet for that is honestly hilarious. You should go look at it, because they, again, this is like the first like Lynchian kind of administration that we've had. A lot of it's surreal, but it's this picture of a horse, very meme picture of a horse running, with just a caption over it saying, "Imagine the world powered by clean coal." Like, very weird. But coal companies obviously running up in a major way. The supply chains for rare and critical materials, I still think is a very solid play regardless of what kind of happens. Obviously you have Komora with Energy Fuels. I believe they're CH. I don't really look at that company. Yeah, I'll take a look on the break and pull it up. Maybe CHM. Yeah, I'll take a look and we can take a look at that. But, I still think that's there. And I would like to think that Trump's not just making up everything, in that he actually does see some kind of need for developing these kind of critical supply chains at the U.S. I mean, really what it just seems like, to be honest with you all, is that he just kind of capitulated a little bit. If he's bringing up stuff like, yeah, Dano, I know. But it's like, man, I was a little bit interested from an idea of like doing critical material, rare earth supply chains in the U.S. And is that just gone now? And it's like, well, man, I don't really know what, my whole perception of this entire event has now changed drastically. Folks, stay right there, I'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting, designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Raul, Tim Ord will be on tomorrow at 3:15, 3:20. Yeah, I mean, look, it looks like the SPY's really closing this gap. You know, I don't see what deflates this right now unless, you know, some other insane headline comes out. You know, and I think it's hard for me to say right now, like, are we at the end of the bull market? And again, even Tommy was saying, and I'm not saying, he said this a few days ago, but like, you can always see like face rip rallies. And I'm not saying that's what he's saying now at all. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the rallies were kind of suppressed a little bit. But this is a massive one. You know, are we still in the bear market? Does this completely reverse everything? Obviously, we'll take a look with Tim Ord tomorrow at the Bollinger Bands, probably on a weekly. Probably depends where we close on Friday, how long this kind of persists. But he'll be on with me tomorrow at 3:20. Excuse me, I'm like losing my voice here. Gold soaring as well. I mean, this is just a flow back in to risk assets, you know. Obviously, gold, silver, copper up. Obviously not necessarily risk assets, but you know, in the past few days, you've been seeing just complete movement out of anything, and people really dashing for cash, right? So we'll see what stays with gold contract. You know, if people think it really is like just risk off, you know, you can settle a lot lower than here. Let's take a look at some of the gold miners. Excuse me. GDX up 8.47. What an insane rally. Let's take a look at poor Goro. Yeah, of course, Goro is the only one down. Man, that is hilarious. This is such a poor equity. Man. We have earnings. I don't know if those came out. Despite production improving in Q4, the company's inability to achieve its production estimates and lack of adequate liquidity has created substantial doubt about its ability to continue as a going concern. Whoa. Maybe this should be selling off a little bit more, huh? What the heck? Whoa, that's brutal. Man. And let's take a look at VGZ as well. You know, and if you're in with this gold and you want to get exposure to the miners, nice movement for VGZ. You can always go over to TFNN and check out our newsletters tab. You get the gold report right here. Tommy O'Brien authors that, and pretty fantastic stuff. It's good, very thorough, a lot of charts, so check that out for sure. Yeah, what is the VIX at right now? Phew, look at that. And, you know, I was also taking a look at I probably wasn't going to do it, but I was taking a look at the premiums for the VIX coming back down. Because, you know, the last time, I mean, if you take it out in a major time frame, you know, this just rarely happens. You had it in 2020 with COVID. And if you can go all the way to, I don't know why the heck this isn't holding. Has it been that long already? But in 2008 as well, you had a massive, and it doesn't really suspend that high for that long, right? And so, I mean, that might have been the absolute high. Now, I still am concerned, the tariffs aren't gone. They're just, now we have 90 days of it hanging over us. And this market can totally rally in that time. And you can get retail and a bunch of guys dumping tons of money in through the entire time, only for it to get entirely rug pulled. You had positioning from China in the South China Sea around Taiwan last night, earlier today. They had fire warning, meaning they were able to fire live rounds. So, that's one kind of concern. China has, and we're going to see what their metal is now, because this is a massive tariff on them. They consider the 1900s as like the century of humiliation. And they were taken advantage of by a lot of very large powers, Japan, English, of course. Obviously the Opium Wars were massive for them. We did have some kind of hand in that, but it's not, the same way that it was for the Anglos. But, for them to capitulate in a major way would be, I think, antithetical to how they want to conduct themselves. Now, that doesn't mean they don't. And things could get very hot for them in a case where, if they have this depreciation of their currency in a major way, they have to increase stimulus to keep things afloat. That can get really spooky for them very quickly. Of course, you have some discussion. Oh, wow, look, even this is rallying. You have some discussion that Chinese stocks might be delisted, right? It's just vast uncertainty, right? So that's kind of where we're back at, where it's just nobody is sure what the heck is going to happen, right? Look, that's perfect. Wow. But at this point, I just feel, and I was actually kind of bullish on Chinese stocks for a while, right? We're looking at BABA at 82, BYD, I think around the same level, and obviously just had fantastic move to the upside. But now it's like, why on earth you want to touch Chinese stocks if you're in America? And even, just in general, right? You're going to get capital outflows. I am very impressed that you're seeing a 5.68% movement to the upside. If you take a look at BYD, we'll pull up their ADR here. Wow, it's up 6.36%. They're starting to sell in Europe as well. They'll probably have an easier time doing that. I don't know what happens with Tesla now. Are the Europeans still upset? I haven't heard much from Carney in Canada. Of course, they have an election coming up. Mexico, I'm pretty sure the president said that she's not going to acquiesce to these kind of demands from Trump. And, I don't know. There's a lot of, I'm saying the same thing over, which is that the uncertainty still exists in a major way. There is some improvement right now in the 10-year from earlier today, but you're still elevated as 4.33%. With Powell speaking on Thursday, it doesn't seem like he's eager to cut rates in a major way. Now, maybe this 10-year level is sustainable for whatever the heck the hedge funds were doing. And maybe they floated the bonds, right? As these guys were unwinding, and Japan had to sell for liquidity, and to an extent, China had to sell for, punitive purposes. Also probably decreasing devaluing the currency. So I don't know, like what position you take right now, seriously. If you buy calls, puts, if you're buying these equities, and listen, if you're going to hold them forever, then, whatever. You don't have to worry necessarily about levels. But if you're in options, like definitely be watching these kind of things. At any moment, this can completely change. Let's see what else. Lucid rallying in a major way, up 10.13%. There's a lot of exuberance in this market, a lot of heat. Tesla going back to 22.45. It's insane. It's really insane. Folks, you stay right there. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. Jacob Shoup, you're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We got a short segment here. Yeah. I need to take a nap after this. I don't know what the heck's going on. I got allergies or what it is. In the den, accelerated short squeeze market on closed buying. Yeah, there's a massive leverage ETF rebalance, I think, that will probably rubber band this thing in the close. If you are listening and you're new here, because I know there's a lot of people trying to figure out stuff about what's going on in the market, get into the Tiger's Den trading room on TFNN. It is $1 a year. The reason why we do that is just so we can make sure we know who's in there. But man, it has been an insane day in the den. We got a bunch of people posting news updates, posting their trades, their analysis, and all, pretty competent, which is just, that's saying a lot. So, excuse me, rather, it's not saying much because of what I see online. Like, this is a genuinely good trading room. The SPY trading up 9.6% at 544. Composite trading up 12.24% at 17,135. Dow Jones Industrial up 7.87% at 40,607. With those Russell futures trading up 8.71% at 19,028. DXY at 103.06, up 0.27%. Crude oil up 4.7% at 62.37. Nice little rally in crude today. Man, oh man. Meta up 14.53%. Taking a look at Apple. So what are the thoughts with this, right? I mean, the China tariff is still there, right? So you're up 15.4%. These guys have the gnarliest exposure to the tariffs that are still in place, which makes me feel like this is a really over-exuberant rally. And we might not just be off to the races right now. Maybe people believe that Trump won't stick it around for China. There's a total, if he's getting swayed by Diamond or Ackman or whatever, you know. But then the question is, how do you position yourself? Yeah, because you're just taking a gamble on it. Folks, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien for the morning market kickoff. Take care.